Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Tea With Tay pod. It's been a minute. I'm excited to be back. This is the only podcast that brings you tea as it is hot. And speaking about tea, this episode is proudly sponsored by my faves, Lipton. Now today my guest is someone who I would describe as having one of the most distinctive voices of my generation. She's a brilliant singer, songwriter, and producer. Her name is Simisola Ogunleye. Please a round of applause for my guest.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, by the way, I'm a huge fan, so
Thank you.
this is me fanboying. Yeah.
Thank
How are
you.
you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Before you got here, I was listening to some of your songs and I'm like, yeah.
Which
I'm
one's
fine.
your favorite?
I have too many faves, but Tiff is one of the most iconic songs I think that you've ever really done. I mean, you've done amazing songs, but
Thank you.
Tiff is really special. It was part of my Unilag routine to listen to it every other time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
So I'm excited to have you on my couch.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So, I mean, we know you on social media. We know you, from the blogs and everything. You seem very vocal, so it feels like we know you, but I don't think we really know you, right? So, who would you say Simisola Ogunleye is?
I mean, I feel like people actually do know, like, the bulk of whatever it is I'm willing to put out there. You know, I'm a singer. I love to sing. I'm actually a graduate of mass communication from Covenant University.
Yeah.
I I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. You know, I'm very playful. I'm childish. But I'm also very I'm assertive because, you know, I don't like people to be confused about what it is that I want or stand for. I'm just, I'm vibes.
Vibes. I like how you say assertive because I feel like every time I see your tweets, I feel like Simi will grieve for any, but like if you come to Simi with something that's not Simi, she could clear you. So I feel like you've always reiterated that in your tweets and the things that you say. And I respect that.
I mean, and I like to think that I'm consistent with that because even before I was in the limelight, I was that way. So it's not a front.
I know. I want to imagine that, that has always been there from childhood. And I can imagine your upbringing and what informed that. Yeah. So let's talk about you growing up. And what was it like growing up for you?
I'm the last born. Of my mom. Anyway, I'm the last born and I'm the only girl.
Right.
I've always been very, outspoken even as a kid. I think I've always been very self-aware as well. And, I grew up in a home where my parents separated when I was pretty young, when I was 9. But, there was love at home. My mom was, sweet. She let me explore however I wanted to. Because imagine me saying I want to be an artist. After they've spent money, saying to go to private university. You want to go and sing where?
Sing what?
But like, she was supportive of me as long as I was willing to do the work,
Right.
And that really, also was a great example for me to be as a mom. I had three elder brothers, so I was a tomboy. I'm still a bit of a tomboy here and there. But it was a nice childhood, Everything can be better, but it was good.
Yeah, but I also want to talk more about the dynamic between you and your mom because I've seen videos of both of you. It feels like both of you are the only ones in the world. Like, you guys have a great time with each other. And I think you also have some personality that is her.
Yeah.
So please talk to me about that relationship.
My mom is one of my closest friends.
Right.
I love to confide in her. If I'm going through something good, bad, she's one of the first few people I tell, because she's a safe space for me. And my mom is very playful as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was always a mommy's girl. And that's why when I hear daddy's girls talk, I was like, I can't relate. I was always a mommy's girl. And she just, she was a great mom to me. And as she's been a safe space for me, I like for her to always know that I'm here to be a safe space for her as well. And I think as we grow older, you know how we have the roles of like our parents parenting us and guiding us, as we go and learn and kind of expand our own mindsets and knowledge as well. We start to teach them. And she's, she's very teachable and she's kind and she's just, she's the best.
Looking at you now and the kind of personality that you have, I'm trying to imagine the kind of girl that you were in like secondary school and primary school.
Yeah.
Were you like, did you used to get into trouble? Because right now you get into trouble for the things that you say. So I can imagine who you were back then. Like, what was secondary school like for your primary school?
I mean, my name is to make noisemakers.
Of course.
So if they say they should write name of noise, I'll just tell them, just write my name down. Now. Because if I want to talk, because, everybody noticed that, I was very talkative, but I was also very friendly. So people, it's not that you liked me or you didn't like me. And most people that didn't like me was because I'm the kind of person that will fight for the underdog. I'd like both teacher, anybody. So, I was very jovial, and but I was also like, I don't know how I would explain it. I was vocal and I would speak up for people and for myself, but I also didn't I don't like bullies, so if I have something to say, I'll try to say it. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, regardless of who it is, I try to be respectful. But the moment you stop deserving my respect, I take it back.
But kids like that, it's either there's so much love at home or they've been taught properly. Because growing up, they will tell you, don't speak to your elders like that, don't talk back at your elders. But there was a certain sect of children, especially when I was growing up, that, we couldn't understand why the confidence was there. Because me, I could not talk to them. I couldn't even look my elders in the face. Now that I'm older, I'm much better. But it's either there's so much love at home or you just picked it up from somewhere. But considering the fact that your parents were not separated at some point, like, where did that come from? Has it always been a Simi thing or it was from the love or the care that you had at home?
I think the majority of that came from my personality. Because, there was love at home. But, I'm a Yoruba girl. Yes. So no, they will still tell you that, Shegbe, why are you talking to her? That's like that. But instead of shutting up, I'd be like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, and if I notice something, I say something, my mom says, you are rude. I said, I'm not rude. I'm just honest, and that really was it. Because I'm not trying to disrespect you. I have nothing, I don't have anything to gain. Yeah. But as with many Nigerians, many people don't know how to handle honesty.
Why didn't you try to change? How they will say something over time and you just Simi, maybe I should calm down.
I'm stubborn. I'm a stubborn lady. And I think it's one of the best things about me, but it can also be one of the worst things, because it's helped me come to the point that I am in my life, not just as an artist, just as a human being. Right. Just always knowing to always pick up for myself. But, sometimes you do have to back down, and learning that balance sometimes can be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about music. When did music start for you? When did you get the light bulb moment? Blessing a musician I could be.
Yeah, that's a good question because I think I do have a moment. When I was 8 years old, we did this special number in church.
Always a special number.
In children's church. So there was a song that we did. And, I already asked that, who wants to sing this song, the verse? So I was like, oh. And I remember that everybody in my class was like, Simi. I was like, my voice is sweet.
That means you're already giving them some vocals before.
Apparently. So I remember I did the song in church. That Children's Day. Yeah. I did the song in church, and everybody was like,
"What song was it?"
God has a plan for my life. You don't know it. Anyway, I did the song, and everybody was like, so hyped, the celebration, the applause. I was like, okay. And I remember how that made me feel. Yeah. And in school as well, I had, people that would like, oh, Simi has a sweet voice. And so I knew that I loved to sing. And I remember that I loved writing. I used to write books and write songs, even as a kid. So I just naturally gravitated towards that because I didn't grow up with music or anything like that. Yeah.
So the decision to go into music was there, right? But then since you didn't have that background, it meant that you have to do extra to get that done. Yeah. And also, there's also the parts of your mother and your father, I sent you to school not to go and do music.
Exactly. Funny thing is, my mom wasn't really, I sent you to school, it was more it's not an industry she was familiar with. And it was not as thriving as it is right now.
Right.
So it was up to me to prove to her that it was something worth doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to put that work in. And I used to say, before I had to fight for music, I never really had to fight for much. I didn't have to fight for good grades or for friends or to eat or anything. But music was the one thing I had to fight for because I had to prove that, you know, I can do this and I want to do this. I've never like done any job. I've never done like a 9 to 5 or anything. I was like, that's why I say I'm stubborn. If I really want to do something, I put my back into it. So, yeah.
Speaking about being stubborn and going to Covenant University, tell me about that dynamic because you went to Covenant.
Yes.
And it's not for stubborn people. It's for people who follow rules and regulations.
I was stubborn, but I was a good girl. Yes, I was not a rebel. I didn't have any inclination. I didn't want to sneak out and go anywhere.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't even think outside deserved me.
Simi, please.
No, I just, you know, I did like, I was a good girl because I chose to be that. You know, my mom was working because my mom was a single mom. So she was working. So it was like she was at home all the time. Whereas because they did not allow me to go out, that's why I didn't go. You know, but like, and I was in, the thing that took most of my time was music because I was in this music group as a teenager. So I would go for rehearsal. The worst thing I would do is come back from rehearsal late. You know, so I was stubborn, but I was a good girl. So like, there was not like a lot of wahala.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of fight.
I feel like the stubbornness came from self-awareness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but tell me about Covenant.
Oof. Can I just say no comments?
No, don't worry. You will not drag me.
I mean, one thing I would say is that Covenant definitely was a big part of some, you know, of the things that formed some of my ideals, I guess. You know, because I got in school when I was 16. But I mean, there were definitely things I didn't agree with, you know, that I wasn't comfortable with, even as I was a good girl. But the things I'm like, you know, but like there was also a culture that I was kind of great for the students, you know, it's very familiar. Everyone was, you know, identify, oh, I'm a CU girl, I'm a CU boy. And, you know, they were very supportive of like the things that we were doing. And a lot of my career initially, because I started with gospel music.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of that, I got a lot of support from the students. They were so sweet. Like my first album, you know, a lot of people like don't even know that I was when I sang Araile, for example. But, you know, it was really big. And a lot of that came from Covenant University. So like I have great stories and I have not so great stories. But yeah, I wouldn't change it, I guess.
So Araile you sang it in Covenant when you're still in school? Yeah,
I was just about to graduate.
Yeah. But were you planning to do gospel music or it was just a thing where you were going to do gospel music?
Yeah, I mean, I started out that way and I was not on that duress.
Were you like a spiritual in school?
I didn't even used to listen to gospel music.
So why you can't sing gospel music?
Those are the only songs I could write. I used to try and write love songs, but I couldn't. Like, they wouldn't come to me. I used to write only gospel songs, and that's what I wrote. So, and then the moment that changed, I started to...
So was it a thing where, you know, Simi so spirit-filled, Jesus has given us some lyrics?
No, I've always been like a Christian Jesus girl, you know, but like, not like... I was not they didn't force me into that, you know. For me, like, my relationship with God has always been very organic. You know, it's not about doctrines or like following the script or anything. You know, but so I did it because that's how my spirit felt in the time. And when I changed, same.
So you know what's interesting? I would tell people that, I'm such a big Simi fan. I know her from Tiff, right? Yeah. But the real Lagos people, because I didn't grow here, we always say Araile. I'm like, which one is Araile? It felt like that song actually got a lot of numbers and people. Oh yeah,
it was really big.
How big was it?
It was very big, but the song was big, but not me, I was not big.
Okay.
I mean, the story I used to tell, I used to take bike. You get.
Wow.
I used to take Okada to go for shows. They would come here for shows, you know, in churches.
To perform that song?
I'll take bike with my manager at the time. You know, and at the end, they'll give you an honorarium of 5K. Or 10K. But, you know, like, I was just happy that, you know, I wanted to do music and people are actually listening to me. And for me, that was a great thing, you know, so.
Okay. Let's talk about Tiff, my favorite song. Like, that's the song that I think really blew.
Yes, that was my first song when I got signed.
Did somebody really steal your heart, or it was just you being an artist? So
It was just me being an artist. Art has been stolen. I've gone through things in life, but like that particular song was just I love love. I write a lot of sad songs, but I don't. It's not like I have a lot of sad stories, but I write a lot of sad songs, and I love love. I'm obsessed with like, the idea of falling in love and being in love, and so I think songs like that come to me pretty naturally.
So Tiff was like the official song that brought into the industry.
Yes.
What happened after Tiff? Like, when you get a big song, it doesn't necessarily mean that you start getting all the bag and everything.
Yeah.
Tell me about your trajectory after that.
Yeah, after, because I released Tiff after I got signed to Extreme Music in 2014, I think. And after Tiff, a lot of people were paying attention. Like, who's this girl? We like the song, we like the voice. And I think it was after that we put out Jam Question.
Yeah.
Put out Jam Question, and then Files did the feature with me on Jam Question. And then the next phase of my life was very Files-centered.
Right.
So we're doing Soldier, we did Chemistry. At that time I was still dropping my singles. We did Chemistry, and I was supposed to drop my album before I did the EP with Files. But we're like, there's a momentum here. Let's follow this, and then I can drop my album the year after.
Right.
And that, that really helped. That was a great decision. And after that phase, I dropped my album, which did really amazing. And, I think I just follow. I follow the energy. I follow the vibes.
and your song is very unique. I don't think you also felt any pressure to want to change the sound, or you just kept at Simi.
Yeah, I've experimented, but like the thing with me is like everything I do is very. I like to be true to myself. Even if I try something, even I might not really be sure, but like if I feel like I need to try something, I will. I'm not, because I've always been a firm believer that the art belongs to the artist.
Right.
I think artists should do what they feel like, whatever is inspiring them, or like, whatever is in their brains. I think that's what needs to come out. But like, for me, music, I'm doing music. I'm not really an industry girl. I don't really know anybody. I don't really, no, for real. I'm not like a glammy type of person.
Yeah.
But like, that's not my
It's more about the music
nature.
for you.
I'm honestly, 99.99% of the reason I'm doing music is because I'm obsessed with music. The process, the writing, the melody, just putting something together and like seeing how people feel about that, And I like to be true to that, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to pander and cater to everybody else and what they want, when you go home at night, you have to deal with that.
Do you know what I find very interesting? And also because I'm in this space, right? And sometimes, I'm swayed. I would say that, after a while, when people start talking about you want to sway and want to...
Yeah.
You are so centered, like you're so dogged that nothing can move to me. Like you're so grounded, like... Even when you get into hot water, right, you still come back and reply them and say, hey, Yahweh. That's literally the energy you're on.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, first of all, I'm serving myself, because no matter, let me explain something to you. No matter what your opinion you have, regardless of how popular it might seem, there's somebody out there that will disagree.
Right.
There's somebody out there that will judge it. There's someone out there that will criticize it. It's not possible for you to have an opinion that everybody agrees with. And knowing that, I don't try to please anybody, like, I think that the priority is to be kind and to be good and to make as many good choices as possible and make sure you're not harming anyone. And, people that like it, people that don't, they wait for the next thing. And that's just the way I am, because like, I cannot be losing sleep because somebody did not like.
So you go to bed at nights?
I'm cool. I'm good. And I know the people that don't like me or that don't like that. And that's fine, because I don't like everybody. Nobody likes everybody, and there's nobody that everybody likes. So like, I think a lot of people are unhappy because they're waiting to get to a point where everyone approves of them, or approves of their lifestyle, or approves of, and then they're so sad. I know, and it's like, bruh.
Speaking of not being industry person, right? I feel like you have your own circle. Like every time I see a video come out, it's like you and your guys day.
Yeah.
I don't see you with like other celebrities trying to chit chat and just chill. Like even the people that walked in here, like I've not seen them before. So I was like, she has it. So I feel like that circle keeps you grounded. Like they keep you together.
Yeah.
Is that intentional?
Oh, extremely. All my friends are friends, people that I've either known for a long time or people that I met while like just being my most organic self, you know, because I mean, even as much as I say I'm not an industry person, I get along with like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like if I'm out working or we're out like at events, I get along with like a lot of people. I have no problems. It's just I'm very protective of my personal space and my energy. And if I'm gonna hang out, I like to hang out with people that I feel safe with. That I know that even if I'm my basest or my most vulnerable self, I'm not worried that they're gonna take advantage of me or manipulate that or anything. And, you know, you can't really tell that about anybody until you spend as much time or you've been vulnerable with them in the first place. So that's something I'm very mindful of. And it works for me. It's always worked for me.
I'm learning that as well. No new friends like that.
But they can be new acquaintances.
Yeah, but I feel like for someone like you would take time, dissect them, look at them like,
Yes. I choose my friends. I mean, even if they choose me, I have to choose them back.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I hope that they chose me too.
I'm sure they have chosen you. Yeah. Let's talk about Simisola album. I feel like that album is one of the best things to ever come out of Nigeria. Every single song is a hit. Every single song has a story.
Thank you.
What inspired that entire album?
I feel like every artist, every true artist, musician, artists, their first album is their truest work. Because somebody said something to me that was really profound. Said you spend all your life working on your first album. Because like that's the first major thing people like hear from you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I feel about that album. Because I had like when I did that album, I didn't do it as a famous person. Like nobody really knew who I was.
I think you were already famous by that.
No, when I was working on it. When it came out, yes, eventually. But when I was working on it,
since.
That's yes now. You think that people are dropping albums, they are releasing albums?
Please tell me, I don't know the industry work.
I mean, maybe some people, I'm not saying it's not possible. I mean, like, for example, like the last 3 songs, Jeremy, Complete Me, and Owambe. I wrote them. Those were the last 3 songs. It was like 2 months before the album came out. But like, just even the general energy of the album, you know, working on the album, getting it together, it's like, you're working, this is the first thing. This is the first body of work people are going to hear. And they're going to say, oh, okay, so this is what you're capable of, you know? And so I don't think it's just the song. I don't think it's just the songs on it or the beats. I think it's the spirit behind, you know, your first... I mean, I have a gospel album, but I mean like mainstream. Yes, I do. With the Alright Yes, it was an album, yeah.
Oh!
Yes.
How many songs? Yeah, I need to go look for the album.
Yes, there was.
Jesus.
But Simisola, it's like, I think it's the energy. And I think a lot of people can... When you listen to like your favorite artist's first album, a lot of people feel the same way. It's like that's when you first connected with that artist. Like that's, and so it means more to you. So I think people always assume it's not like I'm like you can't replicate that energy. You know what I mean? Because it's more than a song. It's now I'm getting to really know you. You see, when you know somebody, when you first fall in love versus like 5 years later, 10 years later, it's different. Because in the beginning, that's where the rush comes from. Like wow. You know, but later you've known them, so it's like now you have to keep doing more to show that, okay, I'm more than our first meeting.
Speaking about love, I feel like you're such a lover girl. Like you're such a lover girl. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about Mr. Adekunle.
Okay.
Go back to the very beginning.
Yeah.
How it happened, where it happened. I've heard some gist about it, but like I just need you to give me the full. I
mean, I don't know how much I can give you, but I'll give you some.
Wait, first, Simi, don't wait. On this podcast, we share tea. It's called Tea With Tay. On this podcast, we're vulnerable. The Holy Spirit is here, so we're not going to use your content for anything that would make. But I also want to know, because, you know, I've been in this space. I really respect the fact that you have kept this relationship, even up until marriage. And it's so pure. When we see it, I'm just like, hey, God, What's I go ever do to get this kind of love? Because streets, we're everywhere. We're all over the place. How is it that, even being who you are, you were able to say, you know what, I choose this person, I'm going to be with this person, and no matter what. And you guys make a fantastic, what would I call it? I would like to say collaboration, or you guys are a good pair.
Thank you.
But to be that, I feel like it requires a lot of work. There's just so much that goes into that kind of love.
Yeah. I don't even know what I should say. What should I say?
Start from the beginning, then take me to the present.
Actually, when I first met my husband, he was not even, I didn't know he was singing. Because I already said I cannot marry a singer. I didn't know he was singing. He used to do, King of Photoshop, he used to do all those
graphics and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And, he was also working at different companies, So I just met, this nice Yoruba boy that seemed kind. I was like, okay, let's do it. And then, I realized that, I knew he liked music, but I realized that it was a serious thing for him.
So you never heard him sing until then?
No. I think he wasn't even a fan. I don't think he was a fan. He had sent me a message on Facebook, but I never saw it. I still haven't replied. So I can tell my kin and say.
I left him on red.
Which I did. But there was this period because I'd always been in a relationship until then. I was like, no, you know what? I'm not dating.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
This girl, I love her girl.
I'd always been in a relationship and they were usually long term. So I was like, you know what? I just want to take a period and just not date, and then I was really going ham, in my music, so I was going out, going to the studios. I don't want anybody to be asking me, where are you? I didn't have the energy.
To be responsible to anybody.
Yeah. But I'd met him around that time and we became friends. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not dating, but I don't mind making new friends, And, we used to hang out. I used to hang out with his friends as well. And, there was really good, there was great chemistry and it was just really sweet. And, I never used to be I wasn't impulsive about relationships. Even if I see you and my world is spinning, I can't think straight, I'm not going to date you just because of that.
Really?
Yes. It has to make sense. You have to be good for me, So, I sensed that he was somebody that would be good for me.
How?
And yeah.
Why?
Just, by the way he would interact with me and how he was. I'm very, like I said, I choose the people. I'm a very intentional person. I don't believe in those lessons is happening to you and then complaining later about, so it's I haven't made mistakes or I haven't made bad choices, but I'm just saying I try to be as intentional as possible. And, the way he was with me, he was funny and he was sweet and he was kind and he was, he was a hard worker and he was, one of my favorite things about him is he's so passionate. He's a hustler. Me, my dad had money, so I didn't have to hustle for much. Yeah. But he came from a different background. I could see he was a hustler. He believed in himself and everything that he believed he did. I remember when he was doing music, when he started to do, I was like, you have a really nice voice. And then, it helped out that I am. I was like, let me help you. And I was like, I think that your voice will thrive doing, this kind of songs. I remember when he was doing Shadi, and, I was like, oh, I think that, how about you do this? I used to record and mix his stuff at the time. Yeah, because I've been doing it for myself already.
So because you're his girlfriend and you loved him?
Yes. And I believed in him.
Yes, so because it's one thing for you to actually believe in him, and it's one thing for you to just be a girlfriend that, you know what, it's your music, let's just help you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. I believed in him. And I think that I think it was mostly because of how much he believed in himself as well.
Yeah.
Because you might have a dream and you're not doing anything about it. No, I'm not going to waste my time on that, but he was very resilient and, he has a beautiful voice, and I respected that. I respected his talent. And, we were dating. Both of us were together almost 1 year before we even blew. Yeah. I'll be at least half a year before we got signed. Because we got signed at Simi, I think. He got signed to YBNL. And I got signed to Extreme. Yeah. So we already had a foundation and history and a nice friendship that had nothing to do with fame or had nothing to do with just outside people. So when, our breaks came, we, talked about it. And like, I'm a lover girl. I'm very PDA. Well, I used to be very PDA. And he's more quiet and private, But like, we had our nice little balance, But when we blew, it's probably better if we are more private with our relationship, I struggled with that a little because I was like, I don't know.
Are you trying to hide me?
No. You can't hide me.
Okay.
If I'm hiding, it's because I choose to hide.
Right.
I'm kidding. Not really. Okay. But I was like, I don't know. Because that was not like the norm for me. But like, we talked about it.
Right.
And which is also one of my favorite things about him. It's just great communication. And I think just being on the same page and genuinely liking each other. And we're friends. And we're really, really good friends, like friends that actually gossip.
I imagine.
Yes. And his mind is so big and he's so teachable as well. It's like, he's just always ready to learn and be better. And, he makes me a better person as well. And just, coming as far as we have. We're actually married 5 years this month.
So cute.
Yes. So having someone that, I think one of the hardest things sometimes for long-term relationships is continuing to be on the same page. Because people grow. Sometimes people grow out of each other. And it's not malicious, it's just life. So like doing the work to be on the same page is very underrated, but it's necessary.
Because, your love story is so amazing because, one would think that, when you blow, you're exposed to a lot of options. You as a female artist who's popping, him as a male artist. But how did you guys maintain that relationship to the point where nothing even shook it a bit? Like, I know even at the time when you and Fowles were making songs back to back, when we all assumed that you guys were together, relationship was still on.
Yeah.
So like, what was it about relationship that made it so strong and so formidable that like it has lasted till this level?
I think it's because we're both so mindful of each other. I don't think one person can make a relationship work.
Right.
It's not possible. If one person is doing all the work, something is failing. Someone is failing. But like, because we're so intentional and mindful about each other, even in the time of Fowles, there's nothing that I did that I didn't ask him first. I was like, are you comfortable with this?
Was he comfortable?
Yeah, if anything he wasn't comfortable with, I didn't do it. Like, there were things I actually asked, how about this? And I was like, I don't know. And I wouldn't do it, because like, it was not about anybody else. It was about him, and vice versa. So knowing that, he's mindful of me and that him knowing that I'm mindful of him, you feel safe in that space, So I think that definitely is helpful.
Oh, God, where will I find this kind of love? So, I'm also wondering...
I don't know why people say that, though, because I think, honestly, people are more intentional about the people that...
My sister, yeah, I am intentional, but nothing for me.
Are you sure you're intentional?
I am. I pray about it every day. Like,
no, I'm not talking about prayer.
I'm trying to see me now. I'm trying you. Because also there's a part of me that keeps thinking that imagine Simi and Adekunle never met before. If you guys probably met when you guys had blown, do you think the dynamic would have still been the same? Maybe
not exactly the same. But like, if he's the same man that he is now, that, even if I met him after this thing, if he's the same man, I think that it would be close.
Yeah, because when you blow, it's different. So
yeah, that's why I said it won't be the exact same. Things will definitely be different. Maybe like when you meet in the beginning, you probably have you question a few more things. Are you sure that it's not because of, you know what I'm saying? But like, I think that someone's true character definitely will always pop out. Because whether or not you meet before you blow, there are people that they meet before they blow. By the time they blow, they become like the worst versions of themselves and the relationship still doesn't work. So I don't think it's about like, because you met. Because that's undermining the work that you actually put in, making your relationship work every day.
Thank you for saying that worst version of yourself, because this blowing will expose you to who you really are. Yeah. And you realize that, you want to explore more, you want to have more options. Was there never a conversation? Like, when, I'm not saying that happened, I'm just saying that, was there ever a time where you guys had more options than you ever thought of? Like,
I mean, even poor man has options.
Yeah.
You don't think poor people cheat?
They do.
Everybody has options. I mean, I think obviously it's more glaring when you're in the limelight. Maybe you have more money and whatever. But like, that's why I see your true character will always show.
Oh.
So like the fact that you have more options or you have more money or you have more wealth doesn't mean that suddenly your brain has not vacated. So if your brain has vacated, you're the one that's your choice that you are making. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, I don't want you to get me wrong. Like, I don't think anyone is infallible. Anybody is above, making wrong turns. It's not like we've not, like, when people say, oh, love. It's not like we've not had, like, hard days.
Yeah.
Or we've not had, like, issues or whatever. But, like, I think that's why I say, when I know that you're mindful of me, I personally will not choose to be with someone that I know is not, does not care if I'm there or not. You know what I mean? Like, and it's the same energy that I'm putting in there. Like, if you're not worried about losing me, then why are you in that environment? Like, if you're not picking yourself, if you don't prioritize yourself or give yourself value, no one is going to do it for you. It's the same thing. If I have a great man, I don't want to let him go. I don't want to lose him as well. And so you continually do the work to make sure that this person that you say you deserve or that deserves you stays in your space or stays in your life. So it's constant. Every day it's choosing the person. And what are you doing to choose the person? Making sure, okay, I want to continually be the kind of person that deserves someone like this. And it goes the same way. So it's work. It's continuous work. That's why 9 to 5, you keep going to work. It's not as if you go there the first day, do the work and go home and say, I'm done. You keep going there because you have to keep manufacturing and doing and doing and doing and doing. So it's not one day. It's not saying I love you today and tomorrow being a bitch. Sorry. I don't know if I can
we
say
do that here. We can curse, yeah.
And then tomorrow being a bitch, or today being like kind and tomorrow being mean.
Yeah.
It's continually being, working hard at being someone that deserves to be with a good person. And in the same vein, like on the days that you might feel, because you will feel sometimes at being that person, on those days, the person loving you enough to know that, okay, this is not malicious, this is because you don't love me. It's because, this is a hard day for you. And you communicate, I'm sorry, this is not how I meant to be. I'm going to try to be better. And then actually trying to be better. Sorry, I'm a talker.
I love it. I feel like you just opened up now. Before you give me pam, pam, pam. But now we're in it and I love it. Let's talk about marriage, because it's one thing to be dating and be lovebirds and just be everywhere. But marriage is now, I am a wife.
Yes.
What's the difference between being a wife and the girlfriend?
For me, not a lot, actually. I think my life changed more as a mom than as a wife.
Yeah.
Because after I got married, the only thing I really changed was my address.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't move in before then?
No.
No,
we didn't. I used to stay in his house now, once.
But you had your own house?
I had my house.
So as the days that you're not feeling this...
But I changed it to company. But yeah, no. But I had my house. No, just... I would go over to his, we would spend time together. Actually, I'm of the opinion that, maybe I shouldn't share this opinion. Because I feel like, certain, like, religious people might not agree with me. So
please share this Tea With Tay.
Okay. I personally think that people that want to get married should spend time, live together for a little bit before they do that. That's what I think.
Why?
I mean, not by force. Because I don't think you really know someone that you're going to marry
until you cohabit.
Until you
cohabit.
Yes. Because the way someone is when they're outside on their best behavior is different from how they are at night when they're cranky and they haven't eaten. Or when they wake up in the morning, or when they're snoring. I feel like when you live with someone, like you know all the sides to them, and that's when you really know if you can do forever with them. I mean, people have done it, obviously. Right. Millions of people have done it without living together. I just personally think that it's a good idea to try. It doesn't have to be for long, safe. Just a little bit, I think. But it's not my fault, so if you don't want to do it, that is okay.
Fair enough. Let's talk about being a mother, motherhood.
Yeah.
Every single mother that I know, my friends who are mothers, they say no matter who changes you, like you see a part of yourself that you didn't think was there before.
Yeah.
The love is different. Like it's one thing to be loved with a man, but to be in love with somebody that you gave birth to. Like,
Yeah.
it's different. Talk to me about being a mother.
I think it's the most important thing I've ever done.
Really?
Yes. I think it's the most important thing that I still do. It does change you. I remember thinking that the woman I was the day that I gave birth was even the woman I was the day before that day. Yes, I think it just transforms you. I can only speak to my experience because I guess like every woman, as you have probably might have heard, has a different experience, like with childbirth, with even just the process of being a mom. Some people have experienced like postpartum depression, different things. But as to my experience, I think like it just turned me inside out. I've never felt that vulnerable. That's the thing that makes me feel the most vulnerable. She's the one that has the highest capability of breaking my heart and also like building it. And I think that having children should not be taken lightly. Because these are real people. They're not vibes. Kids are not vibes. Children are not. They're not plaything. That's another reason why I don't like the concept of having kids so that your child can have someone to play with. Children are not playthings. Children are not. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good. It's not a reason, but I don't think it's enough.
It's deeper than
reason. Yes, they're human beings that you're gonna let out into the world. They're gonna impact other people's lives, and I take that role very, very seriously. And every day, some days are harder than others, and some days are easier. And I'm just glad to have been given that gift.
Every time I see Deja, that's her name, right?
Yes.
I'm like, I think Simi just spat herself out. Like, I'm going to give birth to myself. Like, it's a reincarnation of Simi. I feel like she has a lot of your personality.
Oh, she has.
You see yourself when you see her.
Oh, I see. She looks a lot like me. I mean, sometimes kids have this face, they change. So she has periods where she looks like her dad, but for the most part, she looks like me. She acts like me. She's so feisty. She's so sweet. She's always like, I love you, mommy. I love you, mommy, so much. And she's very assertive as well. No means no.
she's like, every time I see her videos, I'm like, this speaking English, she don't go grief for anybody.
You probably haven't seen anything because usually when I post her, it's because maybe she's right next to me and she says something funny. But like, her like just living life, she's the best. She's the sweetest. She's really smart. I'm so proud of her.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful to actually hear you say this because like me, I want to have a child, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Me and my bad character, I don't know if the child comes out and they like me, I'm like, hey, I don't know. Yeah, but it's so beautiful.
You take it as a karma stuff.
Yeah. Like me and my stubborn hair. Like, imagine if they did the same thing that I did too. But I think I was a cool child. I wasn't too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still good. I'm still good. Okay, let's talk about Duduke. Because Duduke, I mean, I know you sang Duduke before Deja came out.
Yes.
But in the song, it just felt like, there was so much love that it was a new face for you. The song was so deep that even me, I never get belly before, but it felt like I was pregnant with a baby. So when you hear Duduke, it's like there's so much emotions in the song.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Duduke. I mean, I know what's inspired the song, but recording that song and, did you even think it was going to do that well? Like,
I think it was a long time somebody asked me that question.
Yeah, but I think it was a very personal. I don't think you cared about it blowing. I just think it was a personal song for you.
I mean, I'm an artist. Of course, I care about it blowing. But yes, it was personal.
Yeah,
it was about my just the process of being a mom, carrying the child. Because I made it before I gave it to her. I came out before I gave it to her as well. And, I felt like this was something that I wanted to give, other moms an avenue, like a medium to express how they felt, something they can connect with, give them something personal, And I remember that when I was pregnant, I was, I wanted like a couple of mom friends just so I could pick their brain, you know what I mean? Because this is such a new experience, So I just felt like, this is a feeling that many people cannot sing. For example, they don't have the same platform I do, but it'd be nice for them to have something to connect to as well.
Yeah, amazing. Um, do you think that with all the work that you've done, you get enough flowers for being Simi? And this is this is very subjective to me. Not because I'm a fan. I just really think that you've done so much good work in this space. But do you really think that you get the flowers that you deserve?
No. I mean, but I'm not mad about it.
You're not?
No.
You should be.
Why? To what end?
I'm mad on your behalf.
I mean, I get it. Like, I understand. I mean, there are a lot of people that don't get their flowers. And there's some people that get too many flowers. More flowers than they deserve. But I think that's just life. You know? Like, I'm not hung up on... I don't think it's personal.
Right.
I don't think I haven't got my flowers because people are intentionally holding my flowers from me. I think that's, you know, as in life, you get some things you don't get. Like, even though I haven't gotten, like, all the accolades I think that I deserve, I have gotten, like, you know, a lot of accolades. I get a lot of respect. There are people that, you know, love my work. I made timeless music.
Yes.
And I'm happy. I'm content. You know, would I like more? Yeah. And when I get more, I would be grateful. But, like, in the meantime, I'm glad. I'm not hung up on what's... And again, I think it's also because, for me, my value does not come from outside. I'm not dependent on someone else's approval to feel like I'm who I am. I'm who I am because I am. You know what I mean? So I'm not here waiting for, you know, Jide, Yaba to come and tell me that Simi is the best for me to believe. I already know exactly, you know, and all I can do is like continue to put the work in, you know. My wins, I'm glad for them. My losses, I count them and I keep it moving.
Simi, you're so assertive. I need to start drinking the water that you drink.
You.
because if I was half as assertive as you, half the things that worry me wouldn't worry me at all. Like, you're just like, yeah, I'm fine. Wow.
I mean, I think it's because, like, I just feel like I don't believe in... I always say, even if you want to throw yourself a pity party, do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and get up and keep it moving. Because the things I can't change, the things I can't do anything about, what's the use in crying about it or like being, especially if you're carrying anger and bitterness about it? What's the point? The only person that's losing is you because you're there like, and things that people you're mad at, they're not thinking about you. They're really not. They're not thinking. I really don't think that people are going out of their way to make you miserable. I mean, there are some demons, yeah, but like sometimes people just have other things going on or they just haven't heard you enough to know that they love you or your time hasn't come yet. It's all, but it's not personal. So I don't like to waste my energy on things that don't serve me. And I think just knowing that I just have a peace in that. That's why that's like, even if I go and do like a clap back online, it's not because I'm angry. It's because I had time that day. I'm not, if I say I'm not going home, I'm not going to go and think, can you imagine what this person... No. Yeah. Do you know people I see, like how many like say comments or comments or bad feedback I get every day that I don't care about. But it's also in the same vein. Like that's why I say, if you have a problem with me, tell me to my face. I'm not scared of confrontation. And if like someone does something to me that's problematic, I'll call you out. And when I say it, I'm done. I'm not carrying it around in my head that can you imagine what Lagwa just said to me? I don't care.
Speaking of clap hacks, my queen. See me, I stand you. Because, you know, on Twitter, I'm just like, this girl, I can literally go off 3 days if I see a comment that, like, I'm always in my feelings. It feels like you are just like, I will deal with all of you today. Because when I see your Twitter, I'm just like, what is this girl in fear? Like, you are always on your shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes I would clap back, but majority of the time I actually don't.
So you're never at home thinking that, this is what was said about me.
No. No. That's what I said. If you see a clap back, I saw it and I just typed it that time and I moved on. If something actually really hurts me, I'm more likely not to see anything. If something really hurts my feelings, I'm more likely not to say anything. Yeah. I'm just because like bad people thrive off like attention. Bad energy thrives off of attention. Even if you think that you're calling them off, the fact that you're saying something, that's the same way narcissists work, you know? Whether it's good attention or bad attention, they just want to be noticed.
Right.
And I know how to starve people of attention, especially people that like, they're trying to be mean to you or So it's like if I clap back, it's because that day, me will need continue. And so this would be funny to say. But like if something really hurts me, I'm most likely I'm not going to indulge or say anything about it. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, whatever.
And your sense of humor, I don't know. I'm funny, I'm funny. But I feel like when you sit to your friends, half the time you guys are catching cruise.
Yeah.
Because some of the tweets I make it on Twitter, I'm just like, what was she thinking when this thing landed here? What's a typical day like you, like chilling with your friends? Like, what's it like for you guys? I saw videos of you and your friends hanging out, jumping around in the pool. I think these guys have a great life.
Me, water baby. I like going to the beach. I love going to the beach. I love swimming. Mm-hmm. I love going to the pool. And, you know, when we want to wind down and have a good time, it's either we're like at the beach or we'll go to dinner somewhere. And we know, because like I said, I'm always around people that's like I feel safe around. Mm-hmm. So we play games. We might get a little tipsy. We'll play games. We'll have fun. And all my friends know each other. That's another thing about me, because I don't have that many friends. So the moment you are actually... So
it's hard to break into that friendship circle, ladies.
Yes.
What should I do to get into that circle?
I don't know if you can.
Do you have to audition?
I don't know if you can. Applications are closed for the year.
Oh, wow. No new friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you never finished now.
Okay. But yeah, we just like to vibe and just, you know, we hang out. We do a lot of game nights. Sometimes I just have it at the house.
Right.
Sometimes we record it. Sometimes there's content, sometimes there isn't. But if you see us together, we're having a good time.
Let's talk about music. And I think like you're the queen of remixes and collaborations. Like once you put your voice, if the male artists had done it before, great. But once Simi adds her voice, it's like there's just a different touch to it. Like, how do you feel about that, being that girl? Is it so when they come to you?
Yeah.
Do you already have the sound in your head? You already figured out already? Like, because it always comes out well.
Thank you. First of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, well, till this moment, I've never charged for feature. No, I've not.
Hey.
Maybe I'll start spending all my money.
What do you mean you don't charge for feature?
This interview.
So wait, when the song... Like,
I've never charged for a feature. Ever. So for me to do a feature, I have to really like it. I have to like the song. If I really like a song, Jan, if I really like a song, give me half a day, I'm done. You know, because it flows more. If I don't like a song, I will most likely say no. It's not personal. I'm not really flowing with this. And that's why no does not do anything to me to like, I can't take a no. That's why I say, things are not personal. Sometimes it's just what it is. Yeah. If you just tell me no, don't drag me along. And then I'll be chasing you. I don't like chasing people. But like, I don't find it hard to say no. But if I really like a song, even when I don't know they know you or they don't know you, you know, I mean, obviously it pays if the person has, you know, some kind of platform. For the most part, even the person is not like really, really big. If I really like a song, it's easier for me to jump on it, like, because like the ideas flow for me easier. You know, I think I'm a great writer. I know that I'm a great writer. I love writing. It's one of I don't know if I like writing more than I like singing, but I really, really love writing. You know, and it's always so nice to sing what kind of sound and what kind of flow will go with, you know, someone else's verse. You know, that they already have a hook. You know, that's part of the experience for me, and so I really enjoy doing that. And I know that I'm that girl, you know, so period.
I love it. Like, what's making music like for you? Are you constantly in the studio trying to do some work? Are you constantly do you constantly have a tone in your head like, I'm gonna sing this? Yeah. Are you constantly writing and the talent of music itself, right? It comes naturally to you, obviously, but is there pressure on you to always constantly work on stuff, or whenever it comes to you, you just go to the studio and make what you have to make?
To be fair, there are different stages. There are different phases. Like, I have times when I go like a whole month and I don't go in the studio at all. There's no pressure to make any music. And I have times when I just feel like my brain is bursting with ideas. It's not even that I have an idea. I just know that if I sit in the studio that day, I'm going to write a great song. I can feel that. So I go in the studio and I let whatever happen whatever happens, happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have times when I'm under pressure, I have a deadline. And so I have to sit down there. Like I remember when I wrote Jeremy, I was done with the album. Jeremy was one of the last songs I wrote on the album. And my producer sent me this beat. I was like, I'm tired of writing, you know? And then he sent me the beats. I said, well, I like the beats. The first, I wrote like 4 or 5 songs on the beats. I didn't like them. You know, I was like, but I like this beat. Something is going to come. So I left it alone and I went and I came back and I got the idea. Actually, the funny thing is, the original song was going to be, Adekunle, Adekunle, I want you to love me, Adekunle, baby. Which sounded cute, but I already had another song on the album that was, that take me back. And that had Kule in it as well. So I was like, and then nobody knew I was dating him. I said, I cannot be writing to song on one album. I'm saying Kule, I can't Kule shame. I said, so let me find another name. So I was looking for a name that kind of like just bounced off the tongue really nice and was like, you know, and that's, I was like, oh, this sounds really amazing now. So like I said, like there's sometimes I push until I get the song I'm looking for. Sometimes I wait for it to come naturally. So it depends on what I need. Like for my album now, my album that's coming out this year.
Oh, there's an album?
Yeah, there's an album.
This is the first place I've seen it.
No. Yes.
I thought I was getting an exclusive, but okay.
Yes, verbally, yes.
Okay, you guys, you heard it here first on Tea With Tay. Oh my God.
There's an album coming.